Good morning, guys. Summer here, owner of Greensboro Downtown Yoga. Excited to bring you today's Yoga Basics class. Just a quick reminder, if this is your first time on the channel, we would love it if you hit that subscribe button and click the little bell. That way you'll always be notified when we add new content or go live on the channel, which we do all the time. So please do that. As well as a huge thank you of gratitude to each and every single one of you who is supporting our efforts here by taking our classes, by going to the website, and has supported us through financial donations on our Ko-Fi page. It really does mean the world to us as a small business impacted by COVID-19, who, like so many others, is shut down and didn't get government assistance. And so your financial donations and support help us keep the doors open during this trying time, as well as plan for when we can return here in Greensboro, North Carolina. So thank you. You can find that donation link if you do feel empowered or inspired in the description below. Today and this week, we are honoring National Parks Week and Earth Day. And today is all about one of the parks that brings me the most joy in life, which is Rocky Mountain National Park. It's out in Colorado and actually kind of expands beyond. And I had the pleasure of living out there for a couple years. And my husband and I, Michael, would go climbing and hiking and just exploring, driving it all the time. And what I found is that for me, that place of complete and total joy was when I was surrounded by the mountains. Today, I want you to try to find your complete and total joy. We're going to be breaking down Sun Salutation B. Last week, we broke down Sun Salutation A, so if you want to go back and watch that video, please do. And we're going to break down Sun Salutation B, still keeping this in a way that allows you to be successful and hopefully understand it. So when you go into a class and they're like, Sun Salutation B, you'll know those moves. I'm going to give you some modifications and variations, and you continue to please find modifications and variations that work for you. All right. All that said, before we dive into the invigoratingness that is Sun Salutation B, we are going to find a seated position. With your eyes shut, please just sit tall. Find this place where your chest is lifted, eyes are shut. One of the important elements of yoga, maybe this is your first time doing yoga or one of your first classes, is your breath. And the breath to body connection is what is, in some elements, the asana practice of yoga. Breath in yoga is called pranayama. And I don't want in this class today for you to get so overwhelmed that you might be breathing, inhaling when I'm exhaling or exhaling when I say inhale. I just want you to breathe, okay? And start making this effort to be aware of your breath. First way we're going to do that is place your hand on your chest and your other hand on your belly. You sit really tall and just notice right here for a few moments your natural, normal breath. In your natural, normal breath, what do you feel move? Do you feel your hand on your chest or your hand on your belly? Or a little bit of both? For most 21st century Americans, we feel the hand on our chest move when we breathe, because we have very shallow, short breaths. But the truth is, we should feel the big hand or the belly and the hand on the belly move in what's called a diaphragmatic breath. I'll go from the side and see if you can see this. Big deep inhale, and as you do, notice how my belly gets big and full of air. You know, we live in a society where we're like, we don't want our belly to be big, and we don't in the terms of like from a health standpoint of obesity that might impact our organs. But that expansion, that is allowing me to breathe without putting excess tension into my shoulders, into my body. So practice just a few times of that. It's what we call a diaphragmatic breath. As we move today, I'm going to encourage you to try to maintain that diaphragmatic breath. I guarantee it'll go away at some point. And that's when we bring our mind back. Take a big deep inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale your hands to heart center. These are arms that start our sun salutation. Yes, we're sitting here on the floor, but even in this seated position, we can find the fluid motion of our shoulders, of our head that follows our hand, of finding the breath from your belly. One more time, big deep inhale up. Exhale down. Reach your right arm onto the ground, your left arm over. Come back to center. We're just getting a couple side bend stretches. You might need to do this a little bit differently, but it's about finding the reach in your side body. Come back to center. We're going to come to all fours. If it bothers your knees, please feel free to put padding under the knees. The only thing is you don't want to become reliant on that because a lot of times in flows, we come to knees. So just know, just kind of putting that out there. Your wrists and shoulders are in line. Your knees and hips are in line. We round our tummy, look to our belly, inhale. Exhale. Maybe it feels better for you to inhale, down, exhale, pull in. Feel the expansion in your ribs. This is what we call cat and cow in yoga, and it is a very common movement to get warmth into our ribs, into our back. One more. We're going to do a little bit of wrist warm up because Sun Salutation B does have a moment on your wrist, and we're going to do a variation in it today, but it still is going to feel good. So you're going to take your fingers and point them towards you, and then shift your weight forward and backwards. And to me, this is just like, oh, we could just be here. You should feel this great stretch into your forearms. If it is just way too intense, take your hands a little bit more to the side. Like you do you. And that's the thing, that if it is the first time you've ever done yoga, or you go into a yoga class and you feel really intimidated, we want you to know that you do the version that feels right to you. And that's what I'm going to show you in this Sun Salutation B today. Come back. Hands are under shoulders. I want to show you a plank position. So knees and hips are in line with each other. Press your palms into the floor and then rotate your biceps forward. Now, I unfortunately put on a long sleeve shirt because I was a little chilly. Let's see if I can get it. Okay, so my hands are forward and then I rotate my biceps. So see how my bicep is now facing you? That's the pressure into the floor that puffs up your upper back in a plank. And I know that all might mean nothing to you at this moment, but just remember that. Walk your hands under, or your feet to your hands and roll up one vertebrae at a time. Last week we broke down Sun Salutation A. We're going to do just a few of them. Big deep inhale up, arms reach to the sky. Exhale as you forward fold down. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins. Exhale, forward fold, bend your knees, one vertebrae at a time, roll up. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, hands to mountain. I love the fact that Sun Salutations have these mountains, and we are focused on Rocky Mountain. All right, inhale, lift tall, see the mountain peak. Exhale as you fold forward. Hands come to shins. Now remember, your hands do not have to touch the ground. You find the place that feels good for you. And maybe that means your knees are bent. Inhale, let's do 2 more Sun Salutation A. Exhale, mountain. Inhale, you'll find that there's variations on this, little ones. I mentioned last week I didn't want to teach you a reverse swan dive. Not yet. Not while we're still learning these poses, because it puts a lot of pressure into the lower back. So that roll up of the spine is a much nicer place. But right here, find that length and then fold. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, fold. All right, Sun Salutation B starts the exact same way. So we inhale. Exhale, hands to mountain. Inhale, lift our arms. Exhale from your hips. So it's this long line. It's like I can find that crease in my hip that folds my body to my legs. Inhale, I place my hands on my shins so that the back is long and flat. Exhale, your hands step down. You're going to step to all fours. Normally, I would tell you to step back to plank. We're going to do this in a little modified way. Press your hands into the floor. Now slide your knees back. So this is your first time finding a plank. If this is just too intense, please stay right here. Okay. Take a big deep inhale. You're going to lower yourself down to the mat. We call this chaturanga or crocodile. Your elbows go to the back of the room and your body lowers to the mat. We're going to lower all the way down so our body is laying. Our forearms come onto the mat, and we're going to lift to Sphinx. Press your palms in, and let's just hang out here for a moment. Press your shoulder blades together as you try to lift your throat up to the sky, but it's not like dropping your head. It's like think of your collarbone. That might be a better cue. Your collarbone lifts to the sky. We lower down. We're going to come back to that all fours position so I can teach you the first version of downward dog that we're going to do. Place your hands in front of you and lift your hips. So now you're kind of sinking back, but your hips are lifted. So you're not sitting onto your heels. You have this lift of your hips. If you notice, you probably can't see yourself, but you are this long line. from your hands up to the top of your butt. This is going to be our modified downward dog for the moment. Let's come back to all fours. Step your right foot in between your hands. Now, in traditional Sun Salutation B, we would come into what's called a Warrior One. I'm going to take you through a crescent and then show you Warrior One and discuss why it's oftentimes not the ideal place for most bodies. So crescent, we tuck our toe, we lift, and you can bring your hands onto your legs and then lift up. Now, the lower you go, the more intense it's going to become. So I'm pretty high right now. The important thing is we want to find this front knee in line with the center of our back, in line with the center of our foot. So you're in this position. Your back heel is lifted and you're pushing this front hip forward. What you'll notice right here, I'm going to turn so you guys can see me. What you'll notice is that my hips are directly towards you, right? And that's the position that we want to be in. Warrior One has this back foot down, but should still have the hips forward. And if you notice, did you see what my hands did when I did that? My hips went off to the side. I don't have the hip or calf flexibility to have my hips forward without putting pressure into my knee. And I'm pretty flexi-bendy, and that's really tough for me. So I have found over time, it's just more comfortable to stay in a crescent, and you'll find a lot of instructors choose that as well because of this hip alignment. Okay, let's step our back foot in and just give it a little shake. Big inhale up. We're gonna do that on the other side. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, forward fold. Step back to all fours. Let's find that plank position on your knees. Lower your body all the way down to the mat. Now we have to pull our shoulder blades back together and come to a sphinx. You're pressing into those forearms so that you try to pull your elbows back and it gets lift into your chest. Lower down, hands come under, lift to all fours. Let's find our little modified downward dog. I'll show you at the end how we'll go through kind of some regular ones, but I think it's so nice when we are learning to really take advantage of these beautiful modifications that we can do. Let's come back to all fours and step our foot in between our left foot in between our hands. Let's find crescent on this side. And because I made you hold it for a really long time on the other side, I want to be even. So again, our front knee is in line with the center of our front foot. Our hips are squared forward. If you can find those hip bones, those two little bony protrusions on the front of your body, they are pointed forward like headlights. Lift our chest. You might feel a little shake, a little strength in this front leg, and that is a big part of this move. Lower your shoulders. Bring your hands to your thighs, step your back foot in. Right, let's add the next move. Big deep inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Find that long, flat back. Exhale, step back to all fours. Find your plank. Exhale as you lower down to the mat. Inhale, lift your chest. Hold right here. One trick that I kind of learned at one point was to think about inhale as you go away from the mat. Exhale as you go towards the mat. So if you're having a little bit of breath challenge. That might help. And is that always the case? No, but it is a good rule of thumb. Lower down. Exhale as we find downward dog. Inhale, step our right foot in between our hands. Tuck our back toe, lift to warrior one. Or crescent. So we're doing crescent, right? So if someone says warrior one, feel free always to come to this crescent. Warrior two opens your body. So let's do this facing you. So our back foot is parallel to the edge of your mat. Your front foot has your heel of your front foot in line with the heel or the instep, the arch of your back foot. And then your arms reach long. You look over what we call your middle finger. It's your dristi point. Today, that dristi is to see your mountain, that rocky mountain. Release, step back to front of that. I think I might have confused you a little bit because I switched sides there, but we'll make it work. Inhale, rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back to plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower down through chaturanga. So notice I'm giving you a little bit faster pace. If that's not comfortable for you, you go at your pace. Inhale to Sphinx. Exhale to downward dog. Again, modified downward dog. Still on our knees. Inhale as our left foot steps in between our hands. Rise up to crescent. Lower your shoulders away from your ears. Warrior two, open up to the side. So again, find this front heel in line with your heel or your instep and your back foot parallel to the edge of the mat. Look over your front finger. Big deep inhale. Exhale, step back to the front of your mat. We're going to now go through how you would actually get back down because that's kind of a clunky transition that we just did. Inhale, rise. Fold over. Halfway lift. Notice each time if you're able to go just a little bit further. Step back to plank on your knees. Reach your body forward. Let's lower down to the ground. Lower your body all the way to the mat. Forearms to the ground, Sphinx. I actually like Sphinx more than upward dog in a lot of ways because it's this great stretch for my back. Come back down. Tuck your knees, lift to downward dog. Palms press forward. Step your right foot in between your hands. Rise to crescent. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Now, find this position. There are many things that are oftentimes done from here. We're just going to do a transition to the floor, which is reverse warrior. So bring your front arm up. You're getting this arch in your back. Your shoulder is down away from your ear. Big deep inhale. Exhale, your hands windmill beside each other. You lower your back knee and step back to plank. Lower down through chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Oops, I want you in Sphinx. That was a normal habit for me. Exhale, downward dog. Let's lift into a real downward dog now. So our hips come to the sky. Your feet press into the mat. It's not about necessarily your heels touching, they might not. If you find pressure in your lower back, bend your knees. This knee bend is a perfect downward dog. Walk your feet and your hands to meet each other. Finish by sitting your weight down into what's called chair, Utkatasana, where your knees are in line. I said I wasn't going to use Sanskrit names because I know it can be confusing as we are learning, but it comes out sometimes. Knee in line, arms forward or arms just on hips. Big deep inhale up. Exhale, mountain. Let's try that on the other side. This is your Sun Salutation B. Inhale, lift your arms high to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway rise, back long and neutral. Exhale as you step down to plank. Find your plank. Lower down to the mat. Inhale, Sphinx. On your forearms, lift. Exhale, downward dog. Full downward dog or downward dog on your knees. Your choice. It is going to be a little bit harder if you are choosing to be on your toes right now, because to step your foot, you just have a longer distance. So actually, let's all come to our knees and be on this downward dog in our knees to step our left foot in between our hands. Inhale, rise. Exhale, warrior two, open. Hold. Find that breathe. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, your hands windmill beside your other foot. Bend your knee to the ground. Step back to plank. Lower down through plank. Inhale, Sphinx. Exhale, downward dog. Oftentimes we'll hold for 5 breaths in a Sun Salutation B in this downward dog. I'm not making you hold for that long, just as you're getting used to this, that becomes challenging. Walk your feet and your hands to meet each other. Bend your knees, sit low into your chair. Inhale, rise to the sky, extended mountain. Exhale to mountain. That was Sun Salutation B, guys. I know you did a lovely job of it, and I hope that you find those transitions. I'm going to show it after we finish with the non-modifications if you want to do them and practice that after. But for now, let's take a big deep inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, come down to all fours and come to a seated position. And then lie on our backs. Even in this short 30-minute yoga basics, I want you to experience the calming sensation of Shavasana. In yoga, Shavasana is oftentimes considered the hardest pose because we're asking you to lie here and be completely still and present. In this moment today, as we honor National Parks Week, as we honor Earth Day, I want you to find those moments of joy. See in your mind's eye a person, a place, an animal friend, or something else that brings you complete and total joy. experience, feel what that place is like. Be there. Be present in your mind's eye to your spot of complete and total joy. Little by little, bring awareness to your fingers and your toes. Let them wiggle and feel space. Feel that joy of movement. Lengthen your arms long overhead. Your feet go away from you. Bend your knees in. Roll to your right side and push yourself to seated. In these last few moments, with your eyes open or shut, I leave you with a quote. It says, "I went into the woods because I wished to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life and see if I could learn what it had to teach. And not, when I came to die, discover that I had not lived." That is Henry David Thoreau from his book, Walden. Yoga, I know that there's lots to think about, from technique postures to your breathing to the mindfulness element of it. I think one of the beauties of yoga to me is that there are 8 limbs and that you find what you need each day. Maybe it is just the breath and that the breathing is what you connect into. Maybe it's the asana, the physical practice of movements. Maybe it's the meditation. I don't know. But for you, you discover yoga in a way that's meaningful to you. I appreciate you being here, for taking the time to learn to do Sun Salutation B well. And I hope that your journey with yoga is full of abundance and joy. Until next time, I'm Summer. Thank you. And please, I will do right now a Sun Salutation B on both right and left without the modifications, just so you can see it. And then you know what you want to start working towards. Feet start at front of the mat. I'll do it once with coaching and once without coaching. Big deep inhale, reach your arms overhead. Extended mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, step back to plank. Lower yourself down through chaturanga, elbows by the side of your body. Inhale, lift your chest, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right leg steps in between your feet. Rise to crescent or warrior 1. Inhale, exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, exhale, inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, windmill your hands beside your foot. Step back to plank, lower down through chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale. Exhale, settle into down dog. Press your palms into the mat. Feel the length from the back of your body. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, step or jump to the front of your mat. Forward fold, inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, fold, bend your knees, sit low into chair. Inhale, rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale as you lower down through chaturanga. Elbows touch the side of your body. Lift your chest, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right or left leg steps in between your hands. Lift up, crescent. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, windmill your hands beside your foot. Step back to plank, lower down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Hold for 5 breaths. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, step or jump to the front of the mat. Forward fold, exhale. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, fold, bend your knees, sit low into chair. Inhale, rise. Without coaching, this is what it would be. Not doing all 5 breaths here. So as you can see, there's lots of ways that you can advance and challenge your Sun Salutation B. Please start with the modifications that we did in this Yoga Basics class and know that over time, as you build confidence in the movement, strength in the body, you will be able to get that full, big, expansive Sun Salutation B. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Again, I'm Summer. Please drop comments into the line. I'd love to know your thoughts or anything else that you want to see in this Yoga Basics class. Have a great one, guys.